A documentary following the Red Arrows will focus on the tragic RAF Valley crash in tonight's poignant episode. Cameras followed the famous flight squad over the course of 2018 and what was one of the team's most high-profile seasons. Corporal Jonathan Bayliss, 41, died after the Hawk aircraft nosedived to the ground and burst into flames at the Anglesey airfield in March last year. The pilot, Flight Lieutenant David Starkey, survived the tragic accident, with witnesses reporting they saw him eject from the aircraft seconds before it crashed. Viewers will see emotional interviews with the team as they come to terms with the news of the loss of their colleague. The Red Arrows had traveled to RAF Valley from their base in Scampton for the final stage of training for the circus. The squad's aircraft engineering technicians, the Hawk simulator, which is used to train pilots with flight emergencies, is located at the Anglesey Air Base. En route to Valley, the jets fly through the famous Mach Loop, a low-flying route through the Welsh Mountains. The training circuit, known as a shakedown, allows new engineers to sit back seat and get experience of flying in the back of the Hawk and servicing the jets when traveling away from the base. Circus leader Sergeant Will Allen fights back tears as he speaks to camera. Image, Channel 5, Circus leader SGT. Will Allen recalls to camera his journey to Valley, which ended early after suffering sickness while tackling the Mach Loop. "We got to about 2.5 Gs and I started feeling queasy," he says. John came running over, big beaming smile, green and covered in sweat, talking about the Mach Loop, looking at my sick bag. He had a little smile on his face, had a little joke, pointed at it. "His flight seemed a hell of a lot better than mine," was Corporal Jonathan Bayliss, after landing at RAF Valley following a flight on the Mach Loop. Image, Channel 5. After training, Allen returned back to Scampton as the senior pilots head out for another sortie. An emotional Allen then goes on to describe the moment he found out that his colleague had died. "We'd landed back at Scampton, I was working out in the hangar and the senior management just called everyone in and said there had been an incident at RAF Valley. Knowing what I knew John was there, I knew he was the last one that was coming back. 2 and 2 together, I figured out it was John, I knew it was John. After we were all briefed with the bad news, that it was John, that he'd gone, we all got together in groups to chat. We talked through memories of John, how we felt about John, how much he'll be missed, how much he meant to each of us, our experiences with him, and celebrate his life." Wreckage of RAF Red Arrow's Hawk jet that crashed on runway at RAF Valley. Image, Daily Post Wales. Jonathan Bayliss had been flying in the back of Starkey's jet. Moments after taking off from Valley, heading back to Scampton, the plane crashed. Starkey had ejected moments before impact, suffering a serious leg injury. The Red Arrows, a history of glory and tragedy, but John didn't manage to escape. The show then follows the squad in the aftermath of the accident, and how they attempt to move forward after the tragedy. It became clear that due to Starkey's injuries he would be unlikely to be fit to fly in the 2018 season, which leaves squad leader Martin Pert with difficult decisions, and an almost impossible task of replacing him. "We can't just stop forever," explains Pert. "It's balancing how we get back on the horse while remaining sensitive to what's happened here. Because we're all human and this hurts." Hundreds attend funeral of RAF engineer killed in Red Arrows crash. The Red Arrows returned to work 3 days later ahead of their Spring Hawk event in Greece, although emotions still run high throughout the team. But with just weeks to go before the start of the show season, the team are met with a number of challenges and setbacks which call into question whether their first few dates will go ahead. The Red Arrows, Kings of the Sky is on Channel 5 on Wednesday, January 30th at 9 p.m. You can previous episodes on the My5 catch-up service.